What's happening, everybody? What is happening? Steeler Nation, what's popping? What's popping? Excuse my unreadiness, if you will. For some reason, the chat is not showing. There we go. I think I got it here. Hold on. Yeah, for some reason, the chat is not locking in to the, I don't know why. Something has happened to the way it looks here. So give me a second to adjust it. All right. I think we got it. And I'll fix it at a later date. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why it's popped out like that. But what's happening, good people? How's everybody doing, man? Hey. The Steelers Afterplay. That's what I'm going to call this show. Steelers Afterplay, which of course will be the post-game show. And I will be doing this each and every game, as long as I'm, able to watch the game. Sometimes family things come up or you have to go somewhere, what have you. So in most cases, most weeks, I will be doing a post-game show. It's the knee-jerk reaction. And I'm just saying this to those who may not be familiar with the show. I know each and every year I acquire new listeners. So I appreciate you guys in advance. So in case you're not familiar with what we do here, what I do here, that's basically how it goes down. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the video and get it started. And what I normally like to do is say hello to my early commenters. We're going to go ahead and do that first and foremost. Let me pull it up here. Let's say what's up to Jared Devil, Aaron Morris, Ron Simpson Gaming, Few Late Nights, Real Facts, Brent Fox, Vista Light, Mark Cunningham, Joshua Shields, hello, the real Missy. We always give special hellos to our ladies in the chat. So hello, Miss Lady. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to spend it with a couple of knuckleheads. We appreciate that. The infamous Tim. He says, Mike T, you lied to me. What did he lie about? John Alexander, Jeremy Johnson. Who else? What up, Floyd? Big brother Floyd in the building. All right, man, let's get to it. Let's stop the yakking and get to the action. Again, normally what I would do in a post-game show during the season is I have each and every drive, both offensively and defensively, and I kind of recap those. I always recap the first series offensively, the first series defensively, and I capture those each and every play, and I usually talk about that. And then after that, I just talk about key points from each offensive and defensive series. Not doing that tonight because it's preseason. Again, I'm not trying to hold you guys too long. I'm not trying to be here too long. It's just the first one of many, and I wanted to get in and get out. So what I did is I took a few notes on a couple things as they happened, but again, not as detailed as you guys might be used to during the season. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. But hey, man, I thought for the most part it was a really good outing from what I saw from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know the game is still on, but the last I checked, what was it, 27-10, or it might be 30-10? I don't know. I just know I was just watching the Bucs driving down the field. But yeah, pretty good outing. And you cannot be mad about what you saw in that opening drive by the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Listen, Steelers score on the opening drive. We haven't seen that in a long time. I understand it's preseason, right? I get it. But it's good just to see the efficiency of the offense. Now, there were a few third downs here and there, but hey, it was good to see that we were able to overcome them. Kenny Pickett looked very comfortable out there. Didn't see a whole lot from Najee. I think it looked like a screen that they threw to Najee, and, that got swallowed up. But didn't really get a feel for what's going on with Najee. But I want to say this really quick before I keep going in reference to Najee Harris. Before I keep going about what happened on that opening drive. This is a extremely big year for Najee Harris. And I talked about this earlier this season, this offseason. Extremely big year, man, because Najee is going to have to really put on He's really going to have to show his worth. Again, I like Najee Harris. I wasn't upset when the Steelers drafted him. I know you could always argue, should the Steelers draft a guy in the first round as far as a running back? That argument can be made many times. I think Najee Harris, the prospect that he was and the talent that he brought to the table, hard to pass that. I get it, right? But he really needs to show his value. Like extreme value is what he needs to show, only because of the running back market. And you got guys like Jaylen Warren that has a little more, I want to say a little more pop. You know, he kind of gets to the hole a little faster, it seems like. You know, Anthony McFarland had a nice run tonight. And I'm not trying to compare the running backs. I'm just saying Najee is really going to have to show his complete value. I think Najee Harris showed what he was all about and what he could be in the last 5 games of the season last year. Big and strong, you know, put the game on his back, you know, gaining X amount of yards per carry. You know, I saw Charles Davis saying that he would like to see Najee average 4.2. Yeah, we need to see that type of consistency, you know, because he's going to have to submit his worth, you know, going into this season, his 3rd season. So we shall see. But anyway, man, listen, you couldn't have asked for a better finish to the drive. Kenny Pickett able to find George Pickens, Pickett to Pickens. I think we're going to hear that combination quite often and quite a few times throughout the duration of those guys' career, hopefully. And what a pass. I mean, and to me, the beauty of the pass, man, especially, and thank you, cameraman, for showing us that end zone view. The beauty of the pass is if you look at it, you saw that Kenny Pickett went to his left first. So his first read seemed to be primarily to the left. He comes all the way back, finds George Pickens, and throws it down to middle and throws a strike, tight window throw. And then George Pickens, you know, what did we talk about earlier, you know, in this offseason, or even, you know, as we concluded last season? You know, a lot of people saying George Pickens needs to improve his yak. Yards after catch. I know Steelers Depot talks about that a lot. And he put on the show on that particular play. You know, making a guy miss in that open field juke and getting himself into the end zone. Thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty, man. So I really enjoyed that. But that the throw and the decision. Again, you go back and look at the play if you're able to see the whole replay. They got it up on the highlights. Look at the end zone view. Kenny starts to his left. He comes back, sees George Pickens, lets it rip. And the key thing to take away from that, middle of the field. The middle of the field. Hallelujah. Wow. So, yeah, man, was ecstatic by that. And again, like I said, I don't have much to complain about on that first drive. Jaylen Warren had a nice run in the first drive. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that other than it was an outstanding throw, outstanding decision. Love seeing it being in the middle of the field, and I love a guy like George Pickens being the benefactor of that. So, boom, that's all I got there. A couple more things that stood out, man, on the next series, or this might have been the first series. It might have been the Bucs' first series. You know, I told you I kind of took it in order, but then I kind of rearranged some stuff. Quan Alexander, man. Listen. Quan was out there showing his butt. He was showing it. You know, it was a nice run stuff on that 3rd and 2. And then the Bucs decided to go for it on 4th down. But on that 3rd and 2, Quan filled the gap. Yeah. You know, laid the lumber. Was right there to stuff the run. That's a good thing to see. Also, I wrote here he showed up on back-to-back drives, because on that very next drive, there he was again. It was quite a few times, myself and Tony and Kenyon, you know, in that group chat, we were all saying, Quan again. And then also, man, he gets called for personal foul, leading with the helmet on that. Remember that little swing or check down to the running back, and he came up and laid him out? Beautiful defense. And here's the thing, man, that we were talking about in the group chat. If that's how they're going to call personal fouls, this is going to be an extremely long season. Because what you're supposed to do in that situation, I understand, okay, leading with the helmet, I get it. But here's my philosophy with that. If I go head first and I'm looking up, that shouldn't be considered me leading with the helmet. Now, if I'm doing like this, I'm leading with the crown. But to me, that's a very tricky gray area. There shouldn't be a problem with a guy stopping and lunging with his head up. If his eyes are up, you should not be calling a foul. And if you ask me, looking at that play, it did not look like to me that Quan head was down, like eyes pointed to the ground. It looked like his head was up, even though he was leading with the helmet. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Even though he was leading, quote unquote, with the helmet, his head was up. So I don't understand how it is that that's being called, man. And again, if that's how they're going to be calling it this year, we got a long season, man. Would you guys agree? Jarrell said he led with the crown. Okay. Does anybody else agree with that? Did anybody else agree with that? Because maybe me seeing it in real time, maybe he did have his head down, but to me, it didn't look like he obviously led with his head, but it didn't look like he was looking downward. You understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Y'all let me know. You said it was called to protect Quan. Okay. Kenyon said he'll speak on it Tuesday, and we're going to do a still table on Tuesday. Okay. Deshaun Davis also says clean hit. I thought it was clean. So we'll see. Man, how the season is going to go. We will see. Mark says, I thought it was a good hit. Yeah, and I get it. I understand, man. You know, of course, we know more than anybody else, you know, with the loss of Ryan Shazier, right? You know how that, we all understand. You know, that's a touchy subject, you know, in the league. I get it. But that one is kind of hard, man, because he lunged, you know, he wrap up technical tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he didn't even hit him in the head. So it's like, he tried to go low. I don't know. Yeah, it did kind of look like a Shazier hit, man. And no pun intended, of course, you know, with Shazier being injured and stuff like that. But all right, let's keep it moving, man. All in all, I would say Quan shined. I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, did Landon Roberts play? I don't recall seeing him. Maybe he was out there, but if he was out there, you know, it all happened like it was like a blur, because some of these guys, I'm trying to figure out who's who looking at the number. So if Roberts was out there, he didn't do anything to jump off the screen. Also, I did see Cole Holcomb out there. I recognized him. 55 was out there. So again, I don't know. Roberts might have been out there. So I'm not trying to take anything away from what he did or didn't do. I'll know more by Tuesday, because it looks like all 22 footage is actually available for preseason. Thank you. So I'll be able to look at this footage again before Tuesday and have some more comments. And I'll look in the chat. Did any of you guys see Landon Roberts? Yeah, I don't think. Okay. Gavin Carr says he was out there. Roberts played 2 snaps. Okay. Yeah, I missed him. So again, I'm not judging some of these guys, man. First preseason game, a lot of these dudes didn't play a lot. Most of the starters didn't play. So I was really, you know, in real time looking at key players, key guys that I went into this game looking for. When I look at the film, that's when I'll be able to break it down and look at the entire aspect of, okay, this guy, that guy. But tonight I was really looking for guys like Quan, Calvin Austin. I was looking for guys like that. Broderick Jones. Who else did I have my eye on? Man, I was looking for Joey Porter Jr., man, and Peasy didn't play. Young Peasy didn't play, man. Somebody was telling me, and Kenya mentioned it as well, that he was a scratch. I don't know if I think they said ankle. I don't know if it's a serious thing, or if it more, you know, if it was more like caution, because he practiced. he practiced the last few days. So if it was serious, I would assume he wouldn't have made practice. I don't know if he did or didn't practice on, what's the day, Friday. I can't say for sure if he practiced on Wednesday, but I know he practiced earlier in the week. So really wanted to see Peasy Jr. out there, man. We didn't get an opportunity to see that. So that really sucks. Another note that I have here, why Diggy says it was a precaution. Okay. Another note that I have here, man, Sullivan. Chandon Sullivan made a nice play on that third down, if you guys remember. Tackle to catch. That's really all you can ask for. In some cases with your corners, receivers are going to catch the ball, but I like to see my defenders in position. And, Chandon Sullivan did a pretty solid job right there in the slot and tackling the catch and getting the guys off the field. And that's another thing that I'm going to go back and look at as well on the film once I have it, is kind of pay attention to who's running slot and things like that and see how said player played in the slot beyond Chandon Sullivan. What else do I have? James Pierre gives up a touchdown. Great throw by Baker Mayfield. Funny seeing Baker Mayfield in that uniform. It was funny seeing him in Carolina, but it is what it is, man. Shout outs to Baker, man. Shout outs to any of these NFL players that find a way to remain in the league. But it's funny how these guys like Mayfield, and I'm not comparing them, but it's always crazy when certain guys who tore it up in college, they get in the league and they're just not quite, what you hope for them to be. You think about these two guys come to mind. Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's others. It's plenty of others like that, but it's always funny to me when that happens, man. But hey, shout outs to Baker finding a way to keep himself in the league, and it looks like he might, or more than likely, based on rotation tonight. You can't really judge that in week 1 of preseason, but looks like he's going to be the guy down there. We'll see. I know Trask will be battling him that for that spot, so we'll see. But it was good coverage, man, for the most part by Pierre. But Baker put the ball in a nice spot. Pierre jumped. The ball kind of went over his hand, and there you have it. Great catch by the receiver, keeping his feet in bounds as well. Let me ask you guys something, and let me pull up the chat so I can see if you guys respond here. How y'all feel about James Pierre? Can't wait to get my hands on the film, man, because it looks like a lot of times he was in trail and sometimes he was in zone, but Pierre hasn't really done much in a while. Hasn't done much. And I know he hasn't, you could say he hasn't played a lot, but he has played some, right? Excuse me. The last time that we talked about him doing some decent things was, I think it was the Eagles game when Pierre came in there and he kind of, slowed guys down a little bit as far as the receivers. But James Pierre just doesn't seem to really be making any type of noise. We're not hearing about him in training camp. He's not doing a whole lot on the field. And again, this is my knee-jerk reaction. Once I look at the film and look at how plays are, diagnose how the play turned out and kind of see what type of coverages we were in, I'll have a better understanding. But I'm just wondering, how do you guys feel about Pierre, man? You just haven't given me that warm and fuzzy feeling, and he's a backup, obviously, but y'all don't understand what I'm saying. He just hasn't given me that comfort feeling with him. He's not doing a lot. I seen the kid Barku out there, doing playing some snaps. It was primarily him and Pierre. We didn't see, anybody else. We didn't see Wallace. We didn't see Peasy Jr. We didn't see Pat Pete. So those were primarily the guys. I saw Madre, the kid Madre out there. And I can't remember everybody else, man, as far as the numbers. But, I'm just wondering. Yeah, man, you said Pierre is like a third teamer. Yeah, man, he just, still, what'd you say there? Still blitz. Underwhelming. Very underwhelming. And again, James Pierre was never projected to be much, but I think all of us are coming off of the high that we had, those hopes we had. Remember that Cleveland game 2 seasons ago? where we was like, okay, this dude is showing some flashes, and it's not to say that he was going to turn out to be a stud, but he just hasn't progressed since that point. Just has not progressed since that point. So I don't know. We'll see how things go, man. Leonard Green said he's a lazy player. Okay. All right, so let's move on. What else do I have here in my notations? Yo, it's a little mini spider right here on my wall, man. I want to get it, but I ain't worried about it. Spiders help protect your home from other insects and things, but I can see it. It's like miniature, but I just see it right there. Because I'm in the man cave. I'm in the way that my man cave is. It technically is like a cave. This is a room, right? We actually have another bedroom in the basement, this is my man cave, the office and all that. And right behind this wall is the more basement area. We created like a theater room. We got the theater chairs, oh, by the way, this was my first time watching some football in the theater room with the big screen. And again, this is not me bragging or anything like that, but it was just a proud moment for me, man, because my wife convinced me to get this mega television because we created this theater room. Nice. The 2 rows of theater chairs. Beautiful, right? And I was like, I am not going to watch no football. No other preseason. I didn't watch no replays, nothing. I said, I'm going to watch football for the first time, watching my Pittsburgh Steelers on the nice big TV, and enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that experience tonight. So I just had to say that. I like to share everything with you guys. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the little spider. In this room, we have an egress window. If some of you guys know what that is. So, you might get a spider or two every now and then that creeps in. So it's a little itty bitty spider crawling on the wall there. It just keeps distracting me if y'all see me look over like that. But anyway, let's get back to the next thing I was talking about. What else? Pierre. Oh. Mitchell Trubisky picked off. Ball thrown a little bit short to Kobe White, man. Yeah, man. I just don't. Listen, here's my thing with it. Trubisky is what Trubisky is. And again, did he play long enough for me to really judge his play good or bad? I don't know. But we pretty much know what this guy is. And like I said, in the NFL, it's very small margins of error. Good play by that defender, kind of tapping the ball to himself and still coming down with the interception. But again, Cody White had a little step on the guy. If you put the ball out in front, you make it more of a playable ball this way for your receiver. And if he doesn't catch it, it bounces off his hands, hits the ground, or goes out of bounds. But when you throw it just a tad bit short and he has to wait for it, come back forward, you put the defender in position who has great coverage on your guy, and that's what happens. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? But of course, he threw that interception, man. It was terrible. It was terrible. What else do I have here? Keanu Benton, man, flashing some really good quickness, some strength. There was a play where him and Loudermilk stuffed the Bucs on a 4th and 1. Benton getting a nice penetration, Loudermilk being right there. Loudermilk is another guy that I'm keeping my eyes on as well in this preseason. Kind of the quiet guy in terms of name. You're not hearing name a lot, so I want to see how his play has come to life. And also I saw Leal out there some. So those are a couple guys that I will be watching the remainder of the preseason just to see how they look in game action, because we're going to rely on these guys, man. We're definitely going to rely on these guys. But Benton flashed some real good quickness and some strength and penetration. Benton had himself a pretty solid game, just being disruptive. And that's what I want some people to understand. If you're just, again, this is not a term to, it's not a derogatory term towards you, but, you guys know I like to say highlight watchers. Most people who watch football are highlight watchers They don't watch the nitty gritty, the little small details, the intricate things and schemes and who's having an effect on a play and yada, yada, yada. Most people don't do that. Most people just want to see stats, the highlights. You know, how many tackles did they have? How many sacks did they have? And that's all you know. That's the only thing that allows you to say a guy played good or bad, right? You don't look at how disruptive they are, like a Cam Hayward. Even though Cam Hayward, you always see his disruption, right? Sack numbers might not always be there, but you got to look at those things. And when you look at it from that standpoint, Benton had himself a nice showing for the time that he was in there. And I cannot wait to look at the film to see it up close and personal, you know, a little, you know, be able to see it from that end zone angle and really see what was going on. But it was some times that you saw him flashing. Number 95, for those that didn't know. Unfortunately, though, we learned that he did leave the game. He exited the game with an ankle injury of sorts. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Please don't let it be serious, because, man, I was telling Kenyon and Tony earlier today, man, when you think about the Steelers, right, and you think about TJ Watt, a Larry Ogunjobi, a healthy Larry Ogunjobi, a Cam Hayward, and an Alex Highsmith, that's a pretty nasty front. Pretty nasty front that team's going to have to deal with. But then you got people behind them, you know, guys like Benton that might be able to help out here and there. Leal, you know, Loudermilk. Like, we got a sneaky, deep squad if everybody's, you know, if they can stay healthy, but if everybody, you know, progresses the way we expect them to progress. If we expect a guy like Benton to give us a little bit here and there, still a rookie. But if you look at a guy like Leal, second season, we expect to see a second season bump. A guy like Loudermilk, okay, you've been here a little while. We expect to see you be solid. So if we can get that type of contribution from those guys. And Adams, you know, Martravius Adams, I didn't pay much attention to him tonight as well. So again, it's really going to tell me the story when I can watch the film, man, because then I can really say, because this, I'm crazy with it. I'll go and just watch a certain section. Like, all right, for these plays, I'm only going to watch the D line and see who did what. Then I'll maybe watch the play again on the next go around. Now let's look at the secondary. Now let's look at the linebackers. So they give me a full picture of what was going on. But yeah, got to give a shout out to Benton and Loudermilk, you know, converging on that 4th and 1. Really like that. Matt Canada. Can I judge him much in preseason? No. But I'm going to say this. Canada runs the same play to Calvin Austin twice in the same series. That little handoff to the wide receiver coming across motion. He ran it twice. He ran it on one play. There was a play in between, and he came back and ran it again. Even the commentator said, oh, they tried the same play again. And then he also ran that same play later on to, what's his name? Bird, number 16, in the 4th quarter. So that was 3 times. And maybe I missed one. It may have been another one, too, that I missed. But I know for a fact he ran that play to Austin twice in the same drive. Mr. Canada, let's not go doing that, okay? Let's not do that, sir. I don't think we do that. We're not here for that. Excuse me. Let's not get into the habit of doing that, sir. Please, 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 please. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, there you have it. Let's see what else I got going on here. Anthony McFarland, man, shows some really good bursts. Nice cutback, going against the grain of the flow. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that probably was one of those plays where we were doing some zone blocking action. And, you know, that's what happens when you run those zone runs with zone blocking type of scheme. You know, you allow the running back to, if they go with the flow, wait it out, look for the gap and explode. But also when you slant down like that, a lot of times you create cutbacks on the backside. So great vision by Anthony McFarland, and he showed that burst, showed that speed. That is something that we haven't seen in play in open field at the running back position in a very, very long time. You know, Jaylen Warren gives us some quickness, but I don't think he has top end speed of an Anthony McFarland. So Hey, Anthony McFarland is probably in the driver's seat for the number 3 running back. So I'm pretty sure at this point we're probably going to look at Najee, Warren, and Anthony McFarland. And listen, if McFarland can stay healthy, man, the more pieces, the better. You know, get this kid out on some swing routes and things like that, wheel routes, angle routes, you know, with his quickness. So thought that was a really good showing. And, you know, we've been hearing that he's been having an outstanding camp. So I think he just added to that. What else? Trenton Thompson gets himself an interception, and he saved James Pierre on that play. And the reason why I say that is the receiver was open. And Thompson, man, got on his horse, boom. And you know, got over there from his free safety position and got in front of it and made the pick. Great play by him. I don't know what's his chances of making the roster when you talk about the safety position, but it is kind of up for grabs. It's kind of up for grabs, man, when you're talking about that 3rd and 4th safety. So we shall see. We shall see who that is. Well, I'll say 4th. Because more than likely, I mean, obviously KZ, and you would expect Keanu Neal. So now you're talking about that 4th safety. You know, who's going to solidify that spot? Is Trey Norwood going to do enough to make it? You know, will a guy like Trenton Thompson continue to make play? We don't know. I'm just saying, you know, it's a good look for him. We'll see what happens from there. I thought it was a great play. Not getting too excited by that. Next thing I noted later on in the game, Rudolph missed Calvin Austin wide open. Remember, he did like that little out route towards the sideline, and Rudolph kind of threw it in the dirt. Austin was wide open. He did redeem himself a little bit later. We'll get to that. Also, Kendrick Green, what a bad snap. He can't afford that. He can't afford that because we've been hearing in camp that Nate Herbig was running ahead of him as the 2nd-team center anyway. Can't afford that. And I also, and you know, the film will confirm, but I also feel like I saw some moments when Kendrick Green was once again doing what he has done best when he has played on the offensive line for us, getting pushed back and giving up pressure quite often. Looked like that was happening in certain spots. I can't be 100% sure on the TV tape because I didn't have a, you know, replay, but we shall see. But definitely had a horrible snap, so you got to do better than that, brother. Nick Herbig. No, not Herbig yet. I said here, literally wrote this. Nick, whose name I cannot pronounce, runs over the Tampa Bay running back to get a sack. I can't pronounce that name. If somebody can give me a phonetic spelling for Nick, you know, the middle linebacker, free agent guy we picked up, think he was wearing number 53 tonight. I just don't know how to pronounce his name. I haven't heard his name enough to know how to pronounce it because you know it has like an N in it, an N and a W, but him, you know, thought he did a great job. I mean, he completely bulldozed that running back, got the sack. So maybe, you know, the backs on backers drill has helped him out. Let me see if you guys put his phonetic name. Yeah, but y'all just spelling his name. I need. There you go. Thank you, Rod. He said Kotowski. Is it Kotowski? Because that looks like 2 W's together. Kotowski. That's how you say it? Okay. I don't know either. But y'all know who I'm talking about. Nick, whose name I can't pronounce, but good job doing what you did right there. That was cool. He doesn't pronounce the T. Okay. Is it Kowalski? Kowalski. All right. I'll take you guys' word for it. What I have after that, I have Connor Haywood. I think Connor Haywood showed, you know, some nice moments in the receiving game. You know, he caught one, I know at least 2, maybe another one, but, you know, showing some nice things there, especially the one that Rudolph threw to him later on in the game. I think it was against like a cover 2 where he, you know, kind of bowled out and then bowled back inside. And that was an outstanding throw by Rudolph. It was a nice throw by the reindeer. Again, I'm not the biggest Mason Rudolph fan. I'm just saying he didn't play too bad. You know, he looked crazy. Rudolph looks crazy when he's under duress. He looks crazy sometimes when pressure is right in his face. He don't look comfortable. But the moments where he was able to stand in and fire it off outside of that misfire to Calvin Austin earlier, he had a couple decent moments. That was, again, if you paid attention the way I was looking at it, and when they showed the replay of that pass to Connor Haywood, that was an excellent throw. It was a nice throw by the reindeer. Gotta give Nick Herbig some love as well. He gets 2 sacks on the night. Everything we're hearing about him in camp showed itself tonight, so it's good to see that. I think he's solidifying himself as the 4th rusher. I'll tell you who didn't do anything tonight from what I saw. Again, this is knee-jerk reaction. Film may tell me otherwise, but Quincy Roche did absolutely nothing. 0. Saw Paralysis out there a little bit. You know, he got a pressure or 2, I think. I know at least one play he got some pressure. Again, guys, these are the things I'm really going to be able to see when I see the tape. But Roche, no, nothing. So is he going to make the team? Roche, no way. Not today, buddy. Just didn't show me much. You know, Herbig showed up. So we'll see. You know, I did see that homeboy was out there too. Marcus Golden, I think, was out there a couple snaps. So we'll see, man. We'll see who ends up being the first guy off the bench behind Highsmith and TJ Watt. You know, you would think Marcus Golden, but I don't know. You know, if Herbig continues to show itself the way he did tonight, we shall see. This is something that I would love to see, though. I understand that it's a tune-up game. I would love to see the coaches, though, get some of these backup guys in the game while the other team's starters are out there, right? So let's say we do get a tune-up game. Let's go ahead and on those first few series while their starters are still out there, let's go out there and put some of these rotation pieces in there and see how they fare against the real offensive line, right? So give TJ Watt a few rounds, throw Herbig in there and see what he can do against the starters. I hope we take that approach, man, because then you can really see, you know, based on the level of competition. You understand? I would like for us to do something like that. Benton, all those dudes, get them in there, you know, while some of those starters are in the game. Broderick Jones as well. Mason Rudolph later on hits Calvin Austin on a beautiful 60-plus yard touchdown pass. And, man, all I can say is straight up speed. I mean, no moves necessary. Calvin Austin literally just ran right past him. Like the corner had no chance. Ran right past him. Mason Rudolph put it on the money. And boom, he's dancing in the end zone. And boy, it's a good sight to see that. It is a beautiful sight to see a home run hitter with the deep ball game in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. My goodness. Because if we can have Austin be a deep threat like that and allow George Pickens to do what he can do one-on-one, and let's not forget who was getting the majority of the targets on that first drive, Deontay. I keep telling y'all, man, people want to always get on Deontay for the drops that he has, but like I said, even when he had the drops, he still wasn't in the tops of the league. It just hurt more because it was moments or two when it happened, and we don't want to see any drops. I get it, and I'm with y'all. But because he had a few drops here and there, people try to act like he's not a nasty receiver. I keep saying it. Deontay Johnson is in the top 5 best receivers of the league when it comes to separation and getting open and beating man and route running. That boy's bad. His footwork, yeah, y'all need to stop acting like this kid ain't nice. Tanner Muse comes right in and throws an interception. We're not amused. Oh, excuse me, Tanner Morgan. Sorry. Tanner Morgan comes in and throws an interception right away. We're not amused, sir. You don't have a chance to make the squad anyway, but Hakeem Butler has his signature drop in the game as well. He did catch a pass, but he had a drop in the game. And then I'll talk about Broderick Jones, man. He gives up a forced fumble and gets called for a holding late in the fourth quarter. But I would say overall he did okay. I watched him quite a bit. I can't, again, I sound like a broken record, but once I get the all 22 to really hone in on him, I'll really see how his night was. I'm sure there's going to be some up and down moments. Let's not forget the dude is still a rookie. And not only that, he was a 1-year starter, so he's still getting his footing together. He just has super potential, with his athletic ability. But I think from what I saw, he held himself pretty well. Again, that was unfortunate giving up that sack because I really want to go back and see how he was beat. Was it speed? Was it power? Did the guy get underneath him? I want to see from a technical standpoint how he gave that up. But for the most part, I don't think he had a horrible night because we didn't call his name much. And he played quite a bit. So that's my quick recap, guys. Again, I think the Steelers put on a pretty good show. Highlight of the night, of course, would be the first drive and the fluidity in which Kenny Pickett orchestrated that drive, with his throws. And I couldn't say it any better. That throw, man, that was an awesome throw by Kenny Pickett. Hold on, guys. I'm going to try something really quick. Let me see something. Okay. That little banner I got on my wall there, looks like I need to move it over some. And I think I'm going to end up taking this banner here off the screen. I'll probably redo it, just to put up the phone number. But that terrible towel can go. Kind of redesign that, if you will. But yeah. Matter of fact, I'll take this off now. But yeah, it's first game of preseason, first week, first preseason game. Not too high, not too low, but like I said, it was good to see how Kenny Pickett orchestrated that drive as far as, again, on the moments he had to show up, he showed up. And again, that throw to George Pickens and the position in where he threw it, tight window, and throwing it over the middle and making that decision and comfortably making that decision with confidence. I like that, so again, it's the little things that I can look at and say, ooh, that was nice. Regardless of who he was facing, I'm sure the Bucs' entire first team wasn't out there. Our first team D didn't play either, but still, him processing it the way he did and making that throw. And we have been clamoring for the middle of the field for such a long time. So I hope that is a preview of what may be coming in the future with this offense. I really hope that to be the case. Let's see what you guys got, man. Let's read some comments. I'll spend a little bit of time here with you guys in the comments. See what y'all got. Y'all talking about Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. Braun's better routes than DJ. Yeah. Jefferson's nasty. Also gotta mention Kenyon is right about GP. What did he say about GP? What did Kenyon say about GP? I probably missed it. It's probably further up. Why Diggy says, glad they came out throwing to start the game. Yeah, I actually did notate that, and for some reason I didn't mention it. But yeah, they started with what was it? Why Diggy, like 3 or 4 straight throws. Well, I think the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first play was out of shotgun. Leonard says Pickett ball placement was on point on that touchdown. Man, outstanding. Can't hate on that. Jordan says Cody White looked like Moncrief tonight. Yeah, Cody White had a drop too. He had a drop later on in that game in the second half. Gavin Carr says, you know about our defense. We don't care about style points. Looking flashy if we win off a clutch. What it says? Clutch what? QB top 5 defense and stopping the run. That's how we win Super Bowls. Okay. You're right, sir. Can't argue with that. Rod says, how was our run defense? Not bad. Again, it's hard to it's always hard to judge these games in terms of when we want to say our, because we know it's not the first unit. But I don't think the run defense was bad. You know, the Bucs had a couple runs here and there that they might have picked up 5 or more yards, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We stuffed the run on a 4th and 1. You know, they didn't do bad. Oh, Kenyon, you probably talking about Pickens being a number 1. Rajan said Nick Herbert looked good. He did. Spurs fan says facts. Cody gave me Moncrief vibes, and that is not good. Jordan says Quan proving he belongs and why he was signed. 100. Absolutely. Yeah, Darnell had a catch. I thought he had another one, but that was the other kid, the Williams guy. That man, boy, we got some big boys out there, don't we? As far as tight end, them tall, they big and tall. You know, when you think about that kid, that Williams guy, and Darnell Washington, obviously, and Gentry, we got some big boys out there. And Frymouth ain't no little dude. Hakeem Butler, man, this dude, he just don't want to play in the NFL, man. He's just not doing enough. And you can't, as soon as he dropped that pass, they took him right out the game. Right out the game. No, Darnell was out there. He was out there. They didn't throw the ball to him much. But he was definitely out there. But all right, what else y'all got, man? I'm only going to spend a few more minutes in here. How long I've been going? 48? Yeah, I'm about to cut this thing off. Give me like 2 or 3 more comments. And then we're going to cut her off. Great showing tonight, though, man. I just really liked seeing the team. You know, football is back. You know, that is it. I love it. Football that's my thing. You know what I mean? Football, baby. Footy, football. Oh, wow. Somebody said Hakeem Swede Butler. Wow. That's definitely not what you want to be called. Yikes. Yeah, he didn't look good tonight, man. Not at all. What else y'all got? Y Diggy said Darnell had a good seal block that sprung Warren in the first. Okay. Yeah, and see, I didn't even realize that he was out there on that drive because honestly, I wasn't looking for him on that first drive. So thank you for that, Y Diggy. Real G Lee says Pickens is our big play guy, but is he the number 1? No, he's not. I think in theory, he is a number 1. Let's not get that twisted. But in our offense, he's not right now. That position is occupied by Deontay Johnson. Could George Pickens be your number 1 receiver? Absolutely. Could he be the X? Absolutely. This is, primarily what he did in college. But again, that's just not the role that he plays with the Steelers. Deontay Johnson, again, occupies that position. So, Start Mason Rudolph week 1. 55 Porter. Can I ask you why? No, I'm with you, Real G. I'm with you. He is a number one. No question. He just won't be that for the Steelers. Not this season, at least. But yeah, 55 Porter, I don't know if you trolling or not, but you got my attention. Like, why would we start Rudolph? Yeah, against them Niners too. But all right, man, I'm gonna sit here and let's wait for a second and see if he's gonna respond. Floyd, I know. Again, like I said, man, I think sometimes cats be trolling, but you know, I'm sitting here looking at comments. I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read them just to see if y'all serious or y'all not. What y'all got? Why ask why? Yeah, I don't think he gonna respond. Yeah, he did. All right, Porter. He said I'm messing. No, he absolutely did. I agree with why Diggy. He played better than Mitch, man. He absolutely did. John Alexander says Pickens seems to be Pickens more than Johnson. You know what? I don't think, and I'm saying this respectfully, I don't think a lot of you guys really pay attention to Deontay Johnson during the game. The worst thing that could have happened to Deontay from the fans' perspective last year was not having touchdowns. And most fans put that on him. Most fans put that on Deontay Johnson, with as horrible as that offense was. Deontay, I'm trying to tell y'all, I can show you. I can definitely show you. But, you know, the behind the scenes all 22 was for the members of the channel, because, you know, I'm honest with y'all. I can't monetize it. The NFL try to get me every time. And listen, if I'm going to sit in front of this camera and with my time and effort, I am definitely monetizing. So to eliminate that, I show all 22 footage during the season to those who are actually members of the channel that pay a monthly fee. And that's how it kind of compensates for that. But yeah. I just don't think. Yeah, just stick around for Tuesday, because me and Kenya are gonna get into the still table and we're gonna have at it. I don't think y'all really pay attention to Deontay Johnson. I'm just gonna say that. But all right, guys, I'm out of here, man. I told the wife that I wouldn't be too long tonight, and I'm gonna stick to that. So listen. Great showing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a great feeling, even though it's preseason, to see you guys play well and get a win. And we shall see how the remainder of the week goes. Can't wait to watch them again the following week. And Tuesday, we will be doing the still table. And I would throw this number back up on the screen, but probably not going to take phone calls unless we can find a way for, you know, Kenyon, for his phone to work with Blog Talk Radio. For some reason, it doesn't like his phone number. So that's why we don't take calls. But, you know, it's probably better that we don't anyway, in that regard. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Floyd says DJ is not a top 10 in drops. He just drops passes at key moments. That has happened. Floyd is not wrong by that. And I think that's what sticks us in the gut a little bit when we talk about Deontay. But that boy is bad. He's a bad boy. I want everybody to know that. The boy is a bad boy. But all right, man. I'm out of here. Before I go, if y'all could do this for me, that's easy, right? Like button, subscribe, click on your notifications. That is super easy. That's a 3-step process. Really easy. It don't cost you nothing, but it helps me tremendously. But I'm going to get out of here, man. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy out there. We'll be back to you on Tuesday for the still table. My good brother Kenyon will be joining me for more of the discussion show. So I look forward to that. And I should have more information about who played well and who didn't. But outside of that, again, have yourselves a wonderful night. And like always, Thank you for tuning in to the Steelers Afterplay. Catch you in the next one. Peace.